everyone, and welcome to our third Wednesday program. My name is Miranda, and I'm the educator at Rome Historical Society. Thank you so much for being here. Rome Historical Society offers free monthly programming on the third Wednesday of every month. And in the coming months, we're going to continue presenting our programs virtually, but we are going to transition to live Zoom presentations to give our audience a chance to engage with our presenters. So keep an eye on our Facebook page, facebook.com/RomeHistorical, and our website, romehistoricalsociety.org, for the most up-to-date information on that transition and what that's going to mean for you if you want to continue to watch our programs. I want to give a shout out to our corporate members. We have 4 corporate members: Mohawk Valley Community College, AIS, Revere Copper, and Antonovich Group. And if you want to become a member, corporate member or a regular member, you can go to our website, romehistoricalsociety.org, and do that there. So today we're going to be talking about Olympic athletes who are from Rome, New York. And we have Dave Sbaraglia here from the Rome Sports Hall of Fame. And Dave, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
In the past, Dave, you were a coach and president of the Rome National Little League. And then
Yes.
for the past 5 years, you've been acting executive director of the Rome Sports Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And for anyone who doesn't know, I'll give you a chance to talk about it, Dave, but the Rome Sports Hall of Fame is a museum right here in Rome on New London Road. And even more than that, it's a community that honors local coaches and athletes and other sports personalities who deserve recognition and celebration. So before we get into it, I want to mention that all donations that RHS receives through Friday, October 22nd, are going to go to the Rome Sports Hall of Fame. So please, if you're willing and able, consider donating. It would be really great to help support another local community asset. So Dave, I want to open it up to you, and you can tell us first off who you are, what you do, and where you are.
Okay. My name is Dave Sbaraglia. I am the executive director of the Rome Sports Hall of Fame. I am currently in the Rome Sports Hall of Fame. We're located at 5790 Rome, New London Road. That is adjacent to the former Erie Canal Village. We are currently closed for the season. However, we do accept appointments to open up, and I will share that information with you. Our phone number is 315-339-9038. We also have a Facebook page, Rome Sports Hall of Fame, which I try to keep up daily with all the sports activities in Rome, all the RFA teams and hockey teams and as such. Our website, which is www.romesportshalloffame.com, on that, across the top, you can see our inductees by year. There is also a link to our museum. So rather than having to, when we're done, take the laptop and go around the museum and show you the displays, if you click on that link, it'll show each display much clearer than I could with what I'm doing. The Rome Sports Hall of Fame and Museum was started in 1976. It initially was started by former Rome Mayor Carl Eilenberg and Bill Coughlin, who was a former coach and athletic director at RFA. They used to run every night, and they would talk about sports, and they decided that, Rome should have a place where we can display everything of the athletic history. So again, they started that in 1976. It initially was in what was called the City Hall Annex, which is now the zoning office of City Hall. We moved into this building, which was built in 1989, and have been here since. And we've continued to add displays and artifacts. We have, several thousand artifacts from every sport there is. We have inducted approximately 231 people into the Sports Hall of Fame. The information on how to get someone inducted is on our webpage. There is a nomination form. I will point out that you have to provide all the data and information on the person you wish to have inducted. Our selection committee reviews that, but they don't go back and do any checking on that person. So the person either had to be born in Rome, was a teacher, played sports in Rome. The other things they consider is what they did in college and what they did with their life after. We call it for a lifetime of excellence. So we're very proud of what we have. Unfortunately, we do not receive any funds from any state, city, or federal government. Everything is based on donations through our inductees, organizations. We have corporate sponsorships that is also available on our website with that information. I've been here since 2005, so I have around 16 years in. Started as a board member, worked my way to vice president, president for about 5 years, and I have been the executive director for 5 years. Since the passing of the late Ruth Demers, who was the glue that held us together for many, many years. She was a former phys ed teacher in Rome, and after she retired, she put in about 28 years here. So I'm just trying to uphold that standard, which is a very high standard to keep because of Ruth. So what I'm going to do tonight, is I'm going to share with you, and a lot of you may not be aware, that Rome has had 4 people in the Olympics throughout the years. I'm going to start with the first Olympian, who is John Preston Halstead. John was in the 1908 Olympics in London. He was a runner. I'm going to do a little reading for you because I can't remember it all. He established a North American record for the 1,500 meters with a time of 4:01.2, and that bested the then Olympic record of 4:05.4. Summer Olympics held in London in July 1908. The English system of a blind draw for the preliminary heats, he was paired in the second heat with America's other best miler, Mel Sheppard. John unfortunately had an upset stomach just before the heat, but he was unable to produce his customary final sprint and lost the heat by a yard to Sheppard in a time of 4:05, thus disqualifying him for the finals. Sheppard went on to win the gold in a time of 4:03.4. Halstead upheld the American team's reputation for good sportsmanship by never uttering a word of complaint about the English system of a blind draw. In the 800 meters, held a week later, he won his first round heat with a time of 2:01.4. He then placed 6th in the final. John had graduated from Cornell University with a degree in mechanical engineering. A lot of people don't know that during the latter part of 1908 and 1909, he was one of the engineers who worked on the construction of Pennsylvania Railroad Station, which we know as Penn Station in New York City. He was also a major in World War I, served as the commanding officer of Field Training Battalion at the Field Artillery Officers Central Training Camp. He was born in 1886, passed away in 1951. He is buried in Rome Cemetery, and he was inducted into the Rome Sports Hall of Fame in 2012. I have a framed certificate that was presented to him. It's called a Diploma of Merit, and it is from the 1908 Olympics. I will now go on to our second Olympian, who a lot of Romans will know. His name is Donald Geary, or as we know him, Coach Geary. Coach Geary was in the Olympics in 1948 in St. Moritz, Switzerland, on the hockey team. Now, there was some controversy at this point. The ice hockey tournament was won by Canada, with Czechoslovakia second and Switzerland third. What happened is that, and actually I'll read it right off of here for you. It says Don was a defensive player for the 20-man American ice hockey team, AHA, in 1948, when the United States Olympic Committee President Avery Brundage decided that this AHA team had too many affiliations with the professional teams. He gathered a group of collegiate players, together and formed the AAU team. Both U.S. teams traveled to the Olympic Games at St. Moritz, Switzerland. The team that would skate for the USA was not decided until the evening before. The games were to begin, and the AAU team marched in the opening ceremonies, but the AHA team played in the Olympic Games and earned a proud fourth place in the competition. As you can see, this was Coach Geary's uniform from 1948 with the skates and the gloves. We did have his parade jacket that he wore in the opening parade. His family had asked upon his death if we would allow them to use it on a display of the calling hours, and they also asked us if we could keep it for a while and then they would return it to us, which we graciously said yes. Now, Coach Geary, not only was he an excellent hockey player, he also was a great golfer. He taught in the Rome City School District for 26 years, and he won the Rome City men's golf tournament 8 times. So he was very well known, very good coach. Unfortunately, he passed. He was born in 1926, and he passed in 2015. He was inducted into the Rome Sports Hall of Fame in 1987. Okay, I'll now go on to our third Olympian. Our third Olympian is James Atkinson. Now, Jim was born in 1929 and he passed in 2010. He was in the 1952 Olympics in Oslo, Norway, and he was a member of the 4-man, they called it bobsleigh rather than bobsled team. They won a silver medal. What I have on display is Jim's parade jacket from the opening ceremonies. They had what they call a diploma, if you can see this. It's a diploma. It says James Atkinson, silver medal, bobsleigh 4-man. There's an Olympic patch and there's a copy of his medal. I'll read a quick bio on him. Says, Jim, while working at the Lake Placid Club, he met Stan Benham, the leading bobsled driver in the U.S. Jim became a member of this 4-man team that went on to be undefeated in U.S. competition in 1948, while the better sled teams were competing at the Olympics at St. Moritz, Switzerland, which, going back to Don Gary, who was in the 1948 Olympics. In 1949 and 1950, however, Stan Benham's team proved their ability by winning the World Championship. Members of Benham's team led the political battle to allow Germany's 4-man team to be admitted to the 1951 World Championships, only to end up losing to them in the finals and again in the 1952 Winter Olympics in Oslo, Norway. I also have an Olympic pass that shows Jim's picture, and it's dated January 10th, 1929, and it is from the Olympics in Oslo, Norway. And apparently this must have been the pass that they had to use to get in and out of there to prove that they were Olympians. Jim also won 2 gold medals in the 4-man event at they call it the FIBT World Championships, one with gold in 1950 and one with silver in 1951. I have a copy of Jim's obituary in front of me, and it's very interesting. Again, he passed away July 31st, 2010. He retired as the Director of Corporate Security for Johnson & Johnson Worldwide. He was a key contributor in '82 when Johnson & Johnson experienced a major crisis when it was discovered that numerous bottles of its extra-strength Tylenol capsules had been laced with cyanide, which I'm sure many people remember. How Johnson & Johnson dealt with this situation set a new precedent for crisis management. A massive recall of more than 31 million bottles was ordered, and the era of tamper-resistant caplets was initiated. Jim was always proud of his company's decision. He was a member of the USA bobsled team that won a silver medal in 1952, and he also won world championships in 49 and 50. And again, Jim passed in 2010. He was inducted into the Rome Sports Hall of Fame in 2012. And our last but not least Olympian, and most current, is Anthony Washington. Everybody knows him as Tony. Anthony was born in 1966 in Montana. His dad was in the Air Force and was transferred to Griffiths. That's how he became a member of the Rome Sports Hall of Fame, because he spent the majority of his life here before he went on to college at Syracuse University. He was in the 1992 Olympic Games in Barcelona, Spain. He placed 12th in the discus. In 1996, he was in the Olympic Games in Atlanta, Georgia. And unfortunately, he came up 3 feet short of winning a bronze medal. Finally, he was in the 2000 Olympic Games in Sydney, Australia, where he came in 12th in the discus. Now, interestingly enough, I have a torch, an actual Olympic torch from the 1996 Atlanta Games on display here. And this is the torch you see the runners carrying. This particular torch, the significance is that it came through Rome and it was carried by 4 Romans, the last one being the late Leonard Martin. So this is on our site. It's also here to be previewed. I will let you hold it when you come in, but it's very sacred. In other words, it's irreplaceable. And to have this is one of our biggest artifacts here. An interesting side to Tony is he attended and graduated Syracuse University, and he ended up moving to Arizona. And the funny part is, again, he was a 3-time Olympian, where the other gentlemen were all just 1. I have a picture here. There was an article that ran in the Daily Sentinel on the 4th of October. Tony's son continues the legacy. He is at the University of Arizona, and he is being coached in shot put and discus by his father. His name is Turner. And there's a picture of Dad, Tony on the right, and his son Turner on the left. So I guess, as they say, the apple does not fall far from the tree. I think in the future, we're probably going to see Turner. We'll be hearing about him in the Olympics. And basically, that's what I have on the 4 gentlemen. For those of you that don't know, Rome, back in the 50s, probably had the most population we ever had, around 50,000. We're down to probably about a little under 29 right now. And for the amount of athletes and the talent that came out of this city and still continues to come out of this city, the coaches who, when I was growing up, the coaches, not only were they coaches, they were mentors to us. They taught us how to live life the right way, how to give back, as you can see, as I donate my time to volunteer. Similar, I'm following in my father's footsteps. He was a volunteer for many organizations. I enjoy it immensely. It's not work, it's more fun. But I wouldn't like to invite you down to the Rome Sports Hall of Fame to view what we have. We also have a racing wing on the other side. We have an actual car that Richie Evans, the late Richie Evans, raced. I have a car that's been donated by Jerry Cook. Both Richie and Jerry were modified drivers, and between them, they held the title for 15 years out of the city of Rome. We also have a power boat that was run by the late Dave Packer, who was very big in power boat racing. Some around here, more around California and Florida area. That compromises our racing wing. And as I said, the rest of our museum, we have something on every single sport. We've had 4 Olympians. We have had 2 baseball players that made it to the major leagues. First one being Emerson Rozier, who played for the Yankees and Boston back in the 30s. He only played several years. And the most prominent is Atkinson, who played for the Montreal Expos and the San Diego Padres. We've had 4, I believe, professional football players who made it to the NFL, going back into the 60s with Don Healy and Tom Myslinski Sr., Coach Mize, who retired from RFA. He played for the Jets. His son, Tom Jr., played for 9 NFL teams and is currently the strength and conditioning coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the fourth is John Dominic, who was picked. I don't know if he played in the NFL because I think he got hurt, but he ended up playing for the Sacramento Surge. So technically he was a professional football player. John still resides in Rome at this point. Other than that, I would like to thank you. I'd like to thank the Rome Historical Society for allowing us to do this. Art Simmons, the executive director, and I have been talking probably for about a year or so about how we can collaborate our two organizations together to help each other more. I want to thank Miranda, who came up with the idea. She came down to meet me and we were talking one day and she said, geez, maybe we could do a Zoom meeting with a presentation and we could start with the Olympians. Hopefully this might lead to more Zoom meetings in the future. So again, I'd like to thank you. Please contact us. Like I say, I'm here every morning, but we can open up. And if I'm not here, I can get one of our board members to open up for you. It really is a fantastic place. We refer to it as the house that Romans built, and it's also the best kept secret in the city of Rome. So thank you very much and enjoy your evening.
Thanks, Dave. I want to say thank you to you for taking the time to do this. And like Dave said, we are really proud of the Rome Sports Hall of Fame, and we're really happy and looking forward to collaborating more in the future. I want to open it up to anyone who's watching anyone who's watching this program. Put comments below, other things about local sports that you want to hear about, because we may just do more programs in the future. So until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day and a wonderful evening, and thanks for watching. Bye.